So it is 7 p.m. So we'll call the special meeting of the Park and Rec Commission to order on Tuesday, November 19th. And the first order of business is to elevate Miranda and Heidi to replace Claire and Lynn and or Kate, since they're not with us. So with that done, we have approval of previous meeting minutes of October 21st. Hopefully everybody had a chance to look at those. And we would need a motion to proceed with that.
I move to, I will make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, thank you. Any discussion about those minutes? Everybody good with them? With nobody wanting to discuss, all those in favor of approving the minutes of October 21st, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Anyone abstaining? Okay. Public comment. I don't see any public here, but I will make a public comment to congratulate Matt on becoming part of the Adirondack 46 Summit Club. Congratulations, Matt, for how long did it take you to do that?
Thank you. So I started last year in July. I was working on my Catskill 3,500 peaks, and I started with the Adirondacks shortly after. My first two mountains were Algonquin and Iroquois, and they were absolutely fantastic. And I finished on November 9th with my last mountain as Seymour Mountain. In the process, I've also been working on my White Mountains, so my New Hampshire 48, my Vermont 5. I'm working on my Catskill Winter 3,500, and I'm working on my Northeast 115s and Northeast Ultra 8s, where I've completed 3 Ultra 8s so far. And I have to say, it all came about last year, where I was like, I just want to start tackling all these goals and outlining them for myself. And I was overjoyed with so many different ideas and goals. I decided to itemize which ones to tackle when. And this year was dedicated to the Adirondacks. And it was honestly a very rewarding experience, and I would not trade it for anything. And if I could do it all again, I absolutely would 1,000 times over. So, Thank you all.
I think that's phenomenal, and that's great. And the only time I'll start worrying about you and your goals is if all of a sudden you're looking at Alaska or something. wait, that's too
Start to
far
raise some
away.
questions then. But if anybody ever gets the chance in life to hike out in the Adirondacks, I strongly recommend it, whether it's a high peak, a low peak, a fire tower, or a nice walk. That park is stunning. It offers so many rewarding experiences, and it's just absolutely out of this world. Being the largest park in the United States, area-wise, it has a lot to offer. So, and my favorite mountain, just because I like to say it, is Gothix. So if anybody ever gets a chance, Gothix Mountain, highly recommend it. One of the most beautiful views in the world.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Correspondence. Do we have any correspondence? No correspondence. Great. Heidi, we're ahead of the game.
We're so ahead of the game. Still got it going though.
Okay, so now on to the director's report and financial report.
Yes. So just to update you all, I'm going to be working with Barbara to get the camp revenue from this past season transferred over to the line item to reflect the camp fees. So that would be line item 132,850. Once that's in, you'll be able to see where we are at budgetarily. I do want to add to my report just one quick thing. The number of kids that we had for the kids run for the pumpkin run this year were 120. So we really had a fantastic time this year to see that number of kids out here. Knowing that the pumpkin run had 300, I believe it was 378 registrants. It was absolutely a fantastic day, a fantastic time. And I'm so happy that we could be part of that experience and so happy that we could facilitate the kids run.
Oh, that's great. Are there any questions for Matt about any of the? I think it's great that you know, these bullet points, everything, you know, it's pretty quick, easy way to scan through. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I can definitely keep that up. It's a lot easier. A lot easier on the mind.
Yeah. So do we have to vote on accepting the director's report? Should we?
Sure, we can do that. And then actually, once we're done with, or we could do it beforehand, it's the ARPA funding about the splash pad. I want to talk about that. And
Okay.
so we can vote on it if we want, or you want me to talk about it quick?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Sure. So I reached out to the state with support from Barbara Herbst, our town's treasurer, and the state has given us the green light to transfer funds from the splash pad project to the Emery Park pool project. It was initially obligated to Emery Park. My predecessor worked with the previous first select woman, and they were able to move the money to a splash pad project. After some evaluation with land use and just understanding how the drainage works in the park, what's wetlands, what would require variance, and then what really would make sense for a splash pad and the amount of the population it would serve. It is in the best interest of the community to work towards having a body of water to swim in, opposed to a splash pad spray park. Splash pads, fantastic. I think they're phenomenal. I think they're a great accessory, and I think it's a great capital project for a town or a municipality to take on. However, it should be truly, conscientiously decided that a municipality that wants to take on a splash pad should have means of access to a body of water that is a little more either of no cost or of limited cost to educate the population on aquatic safety, on swimming. And when I believe it's 47.5% of the population based on the 2020 census, falls into the category of children 17 years of age or younger or seniors. Both populations are at significant risks of fatality due to drowning. Seniors and children that are 14 years of age and older that is the second highest form of accidental death. And then children under the age of 13 and younger, I believe, and I can definitely modify those quotes if needed, but that is their primary form of accidental death. So for us to really miss the mark on almost half the population to educate them to prevent death and to teach them a life skill, as well as educating them and feeling more confident around water and safe around water, especially with the river cutting right through the center of our town, we would be really doing a disservice to the community. So I want to ask the commission for support to transfer the $100,000 from the ARPA project of the Kent Commons splash pad to the Emery Park pool, or Emery Park swimming area project.
So let's open this up for discussion.
Oh, brilliant. Yay. I mean, that just saves us so much money. So I fully support it and congratulate you on on making that move. I think that's where the community wanted to go, to get Emery Park back up and running, and to have that $100,000 freed up for that, I just think is amazing. So yay from me.
Thank you, Heidi.
I also would agree that the focus should, for the commission now, should be opening Emery Park up and make it accessible and to the community, and it doesn't mean that a splash pad down the road might not be a bad addition to Kent Commons Park, but I think the priority, from what we've heard from a lot of community members, is that Emery Park needs our attention. Anyone else? So I would make the motion that we take the $100,000 originally earmarked for Emery Park and move to the splash pad, to revert back to Emery Park and to the funding for revitalization of the pool area.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Heidi. Any further discussion, or all those in favor?
Aye.
Signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Great. Abstaining? So that just swung by.
Unanimous.
We did it. Good job.
Thank you.
Fun.
And thank you all. I appreciate it. And I'm excited to continue the process and to see what we can do to really enrich the community.
Huh. Okay. I didn't see Jordan's second in the chat. So, but that
There we go. We don't have it up.
that was there. All right. So, directors, B, the discussion and possible action on capital project plans.
Yes.
Before Matt starts, he talked to me a little bit about his ideas, and we definitely feel that we are going to have a special meeting. Probably, if it's all right with Barbara, the week after Thanksgiving. So be looking at your calendars, but we want to have a capital, some changes to the capital project plans, and maybe some additions to what we've got there. And Matt has some good ideas, so that may be a meeting in and of itself with just the one item. Go ahead, Matt.
Sure. So as I work with everybody to begin to continue the planning for the municipality and also for the projection of this department, I want to really take into consideration, one, our current feasibility study and our needs assessment, what we truly need, and then looking 5 years out for that continued maintenance of what we already have, how much it's what we truly need to maintain and what we need to put towards it, and then what would be the next best solution for either a larger capital project for the municipality to take on, or if there's something that we truly feel we need to revitalize. So I think as we are going to discuss having a special meeting, and I can definitely send out a doodle to get a poll from everybody to see when they're available to meet. I would, for the next few years, so everything on the sheet where it says 5-year future planning, this is the time that we can go ahead and start putting some new ideas together and say, this is what we want to fund. So right now, 2033, 2034, and 2035, I have left blank, and I would like to hear from the commission on thoughts and future planning. I definitely have my concepts and ideas, and I think it would be great for us to all come together for a meeting and talk it all out and then make a decision on what we should be doing for the next 10 years. Again, everything beyond the 5-year future planning, it's not concrete. It's flexible. We can go ahead and move it at our leisure at every budget hearing. However, when it comes to the 5-year funding in place section, that's what we're already taxing on, and that doesn't have much flexibility at the moment. That would require a full town meeting vote for movement of funds. So just keep that in mind moving forward. But I think right now, this is just for everyone to see where we're at, what has been planned, and then when we meet next, let's come together with ideas and go ahead and flush them out.
I don't know if people have calendars available to them now. For the week after Thanksgiving, which would be early December. I'm pretty well open almost any night that week. So if we want to be looking ahead, that's when we think that if we make some decisions, then we'd still be in time to get the information to Barbara in time, because the selectmen have to look at it and be ready, and so I think the best thing would be if you have nights you can't meet, email Matt and send him when you can't meet, and then he can choose a night where we all can meet. Make sense?
Sense. Thank you. I can just let you all know that Thursday night is the only night I cannot meet. Wednesday I can't meet after 7 p.m. I do have the American 250 meeting on that night that I'm chairing, but anything before 7 p.m. on that Wednesday, and then unfortunately Thursday I am not available, but happy to do any other night just so that when we all go ahead and plan to add to Rufus.
So yeah, let's concentrate maybe on Monday, Tuesday, and that gives you, if we can come to some decisions, time to get everything together for Barbara. And then if you wanted to give us a heads up on some of the ideas that you're thinking about, maybe you could get those to us prior to the meeting, and then we can have some questions or our own ideas and whatnot.
Absolutely.
If that works.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm more than happy to do that.
So tentatively, maybe either December 2nd or December 3rd. If people are comfortable with the 7 o'clock meeting, and if that would really be the only item on the agenda, so it would not be more than an hour unless people have pulling ideas out of left and right field we hadn't anticipated, but any questions? Okay. All right, Matt. So we should have a discussion, possible action on any new programs?
Yes. So I have two. So the two programs that I have for us this evening are up with the one that's a little bit further out because I feel like it is definitely the one that is of most interest. Camp Kent 2025. So for Camp Kent 2025, we're looking at a date range from the 23rd of June all the way through the 8th of August, with the week of June 30th off for 4th of July holiday. And for the capacity that is at Club Getaway, I understand they have so many people that come since it's a holiday weekend and a holiday week. It's one of their largest times, and for us to be there, it's a little bit overwhelming for everybody involved. So I put some conceptual field trips together from things that we've done last year that were huge hits for field trips for the kids. And Rebecca Thompson is strongly interested in continuing as the Camp Kent director for next year. I did increase the price by about 4%. Club Getaway did go up in price per child, and I think that with us with having to plan for field trips and for any other supplies that are needed with shirts, anything else that is needed for camp, just that slight increase would be beneficial for us to offset those costs. We also have the opportunity to go up to 40 kids instead of 36. We did have a wait list weeks 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. However, when it came down to the times to have people come off the wait list after the first day, unfortunately, a lot of kids have went to other camps. So those waitlist numbers were between 3 and 4 kids per week. So if we do go up to 40, we would be able to have kids not be on the wait list. And we, just so you all know, we serviced 80% of the kids in the camp were from Kent, or were identified as residents. So either they're KCS attendees or they're residents of the community. So for us to have 80% of the population of camp be those that reside in the community and participate in the school and participate in activities really speaks volumes. So if we can increase the number to 40 so we can service more kids in our community, let's do it. And I think we should be able to. So I am recommending a motion to approve the Camp Kent 2025 program proposal. So that's all I have to say in discussion. So
Does somebody want to make that motion?
I will make that motion.
Thank you, Miranda. Is there a second? Jordan seconds it in the chat. So any further discussion? I think, Matt, down the road, we're gonna want to decide on our own deadlines for when we start publicizing, so that and whether we're publicizing first to the local kids and then open it up to, whatever. But those will be the next steps. But I think that will enable us to really fill the camp if we get out there early.
absolutely.
So
Yeah, I did go with the registration dates to give kids that attended camp last year the Camp Kent 2024 priority registration, starting January 6th, so that those that already attended have that ability to come back. And then then the 20th of January, just open up to the community. Because I think
sounds great. So
capturing them all.
you're already thinking ahead.
Yeah, I gotcha. And then it'll open up to the general public, non-residents on February 24th. So it gives over a month for our residents to make the decision to join in. If anybody feels that there needs to be modification to that date, I'm open to it, but I chose that to be after the winter break, the Monday after, so that they have the ample opportunity to make some decisions, then jump right on. So
Cool. Very good. Any other discussions before we vote? Okay, all those in favor of the new or the conditions for Camp Kent 2025, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Thank you. Ayes. Okay, old business.
Oh, I got one more program.
Oh, that's right. That was only one program.
So this is just an update for youth winter basketball. I did because it is a significant change of dates and change of fee structure. I didn't want to bring it in front of the commission. So just brief overview. Mondays and Tuesdays would be the practices, and then Thursdays would be the ability for kindergarten through 8th grade to have games. Lara Barrett has taken on the conceptual idea for having the games on Thursdays. So those that register through Park and Rec would be put onto a team, and it would be completely balanced based on skill set, and they'd all be playing as an intramural thing amongst themselves on Thursdays. And then the Mondays and Tuesdays would be led by volunteers. I did reduce the cost for it since it's only going to be a 1 day of practice instead of 2 days a week. So it would go down to $20 for the entire session for practices and games. And if they purchase both, it's $40, which is what we've traditionally done. And for non-residents, it does go up a little bit more. Its practices are $25 for the entire session, and then games are $25, so it'd be $50 instead of $45. And then for anybody who coaches for the games or practice, from what I got feedback from parents, it'd be great if the fee was waived completely. And I agree, I think that'd be great. It's not that we are going to be traumatically losing funds if we have 4 coaches and 4 of their kids are completely waived in fees. So
Okay,
I have a couple questions. Did you say there's 1 day of practice and then one day of games, or 2 days of practice and 1 day of games?
1 day of practice and 1 day of games. So you can sign up for just practice, you can sign up for just games, or you can sign up for both.
Okay.
In practice,
then-
go ahead.
And then when you said kids are gonna be sorted is this not by age, but by skill?
It would be by age and by skill set. So let's say there's 20 third graders and we assess that their skills are, there's 10 that are phenomenal for basketball and ready to advance to the next level, and there are some that are just beginning. They'd be intermixed. So it would be one team has all kids that are not great and one team that has kids that are absolutely phenomenal rock stars advancing in this sport. So
Okay.
it would be a mixed group, and it would be monitored strongly by me to ensure that this is done.
Okay, I just wanna make sure we're not getting like, you said it was going up to 8th grade?
It's going to go up to 8th grade. Yep.
Just not getting like an 8th grader put on like the 3rd grade team or something.
No. That would be very risky to do just based on age and development. So
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that is all my questions.
Perfect.
so you had originally said Monday, Tuesday for practices, so there'd be different nights for different skills levels.
So Mondays,
Ages.
different ages. So Monday pre-K and K would have half the court from 5:30 to 6:15, and then first and second would have the other half of the court from 5:30 to 6:30. And for third and fourth and fifth through eighth, those are split by 5:30 to 6:30 and then 6:30 to 8 because the older kids have
Right.
need a full court. So
Cool.
perfect.
Any other questions? So do I have make a motion to approve the winter basketball changes as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, John. And is there a second?
Second.
Heidi? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And anybody abstaining? Okay, onward.
Thank you.
Now we're at old business.
I have no old business from the department.
Okay. New business.
Heidi came to me with a fantastic idea for a winter recreation gear swap event and concept, and I would like if we could talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, we didn't really hash it out.
Yes, so we
Uh,
can hash it out. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
We were theorizing it, so I think it's a great way for us to hash it out now.
Yeah, so in theory, kind of like when we had the citywide tag sale, but then and Matt had the component of folks having a spot here in town hall, is for us to have, you know, your winter gear in your boot, kind of a theme, where you can come here, set up. You can have other junk there as well, but mainly to get rid of your ski equipment, etc. If somebody has equipment and they don't want to come down here and set up for the day, they could donate it to us and I'll gladly help man the booth, and we can just kind of pay what you want kind of a thing for a winter gear swap. If we can have the fire pit out there and make it a nice day, but also to promote the whole new ski season that we had as well. So it brings your flea market types in and they can sell some stuff and some ski equipment. We can send out a flyer and somebody can make a list of who has gear for us to pick up, and I'll gladly run around town and pick up gear and we can stash it here. But then at the end, or as part of those donations that come in, we can start to fill up the share shed. That is the concept that Matt has had as well, where we can have like 5 sets of snowshoes that somebody can just borrow at some point, or other gear that we can have to share and promote, especially that they open up for ice skating, and you're always seeing, oh, does anybody have this size skates? Who can afford to buy a new pair of skates when you can only skate 2 or 3 times a year for your kids as they're growing up? So to have those kind of things in type of a shear shed at some point, and bring the community together that way. So that's kind of the concept of what we were thinking of, how it could feed into a lot of different categories.
That's pretty cool. Are we thinking of the shed being one of our sheds, or are you looking
Yes.
the added space in town hall, or?
We have the shed from camp that is at Emery Park that I can reassemble. Right now it's laid out just for cleaning, but I'm happy to reassemble it and we can make that accessible. It's bigger than the one that's at Kent Commons on the tennis court. And what I can do is I can line it with shelving, and I can also, while I look into the NFC tags, that can give us the ability for it to be locked and unlocked for people to take out. The NFC tag would track the phone number that locks and unlocks it. So all you have to do is take your phone and you just have to tap the, it's literally a sticker, and it's weatherproof, all weatherproof. It's, you know, able to be outside for cold temperatures, hot temperatures, rain, snow, sleet, ice, you name it. And you just tap it with your phone, it will unlock the device, it will unlock the locker, you're able to take the item out, and then you return it by tapping it with the phone. So that gives me the ability to track who's taking things. So if something is taken and completely lost, I'm able to reach out and say, hey, did you forget to put back the snowshoes? And they'll be like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot that. I put them in the car with my kids. We were running out of there. I'm happy to, you know, bring them back, or we're going to come back in 2 days and we'll use them and we'll put them back in the locker. So.
And using that same system, you could have a small one with your tennis gear and different things at Kent Commons, and you can have another one over at Emery for your ski equipment or other things. I mean, the sky's the limit as far as equipment that you might be able to have in there for people to borrow. And we're not out anything if we just ask people if they want to donate it, if we don't sell it on the day that. Oh, and that's the other thing is if we do have the sale, any monies there will go to social services to offset any type of recreation or summer camp that our own community kids may need.
Oh, I like that. That can go towards, I know the community fund gives a very healthy amount to camp every year to cover the cost for kids.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be fantastic.
Or the ski program or whatever,
Yeah,
whatever recreation that might be a healthy solution for some of the kids that social services sees.
Just just a question, are we gonna purchase gym lockers? Is that basically what we're gonna do?
I'm gonna start with the shed that we have at Emory.
Right.
And then if we need to go the locker route, we can go the locker route, and I can look into some all-season lockers to see what's available.
Okay.
Yeah. But we have the ability to and it's not just to capture phone numbers, it's to capture the amount of use. So I can go ahead and see that people are taking it. Let's say we've had a very decent winter, and we see that there's a strong pull from the community that they're taking out snowshoes frequently. That gives me the opportunity to optimize and say, all right, so there's a lot of snowshoeing being taken out. Now should we put in a program for education on snowshoeing? Should we have a snowshoeing club? And it gives us the opportunity to look at what's going on in the town, taking that pulse and saying, let's go ahead and program for it, and let's go ahead and build on that. Kind of like pickleball, how that grew and grew, how it's growing and still growing magnificently. So that really helps with the pulse for what we're doing here in town. And as much as a conversation goes miles with people, the actions that they perform speak strongly as well, especially when it's habitual and a community effort to perform something and do something. So yeah, I like the idea a lot.
I think that's a great idea overall. These lockers, how big are they?
They can be any size. You can have the small ones that are your 2 foot by 2 foot by 4 feet deep. You can go up to massive lockers that are the ones that you see at apartment buildings that have the touchpad that you have to type in the number, and then all of a sudden your locker opens up with your Amazon package. Or you can just use a shed, and you can have it so that the lock itself, which is, you can either have a lock that is the size of a master lock, and you just tap the NFC tag on it and it unlocks it, or it gives you the combination to unlock it after registration or approval. So there's a variety of different ways to go about it, and sizing and acquiring the equipment to do it is within financial reach of what we have.
Huh.
It's choosing the right solution that makes the most sense, in the long run. Instead of just doing something short term, let's look at long term and see what would make the most sense for what we have.
I was thinking, do you think there's any Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or Eagle Scouts that would want a project to build
Oh,
Yeah,
a locker, with some oversight or an adult to use any of the electric tools needed or whatever? That might be an idea.
I like that. Yeah, absolutely.
So shall we give Matt the green light to go ahead and pursue this? I would move the winter recreation gear swap event / shed system or locker system we approve. Would there be a move or a second to that?
I'll move
well,
that.
since it was my darn idea.
Okay.
So moved by, excuse me. Do you want to make the decision, Rufus? I know Jordan and Heidi both said it, so I want.
It's okay. I'll second you, Jordan.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
So all those in favor?
Right.
Aye.
I
Opposed? Abstain? Good.
Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
All right. Now to the nitty gritty. Subcommittee reports. Bylaws subcommittee report.
Yes. I got a response from Randy yesterday evening after hours with some recommendations for the bylaws. However, he wants to follow up with a call. So once I hear from Randy, I will convey back to the subcommittee and the commission.
Pending, right?
What's that, John?
So that would be pending.
Yes, it's pending. So I received it and I am waiting for Randy to clarify
Yeah.
what his edits were. So yeah, it's still pending.
So it's not too big, just a couple of items that he mentioned, or yeah.
Just a couple. So
All right.
a few things were highlighted and just a few underlines and just word changes, but he wants to explain the highlights. So I'm gonna await his rationale behind it.
So if it's not too much, do we want to add that as a second item to the special meeting or not?
I would recommend it just so that we can get it on for the town meeting in January.
Yeah. So let's maybe add that to item number 2 for the special meeting in early December. And hopefully Randy gets back to you in the next week or whatever.
Yeah.
And again, if there's an explanation that you wanted to share with the commission ahead of time by a couple days for us to look at, that would help.
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you, thank you. And 9B, Emery Park Subcommittee Report.
John, do you want to take it away? I just have 2 items to add once you're done.
No, okay. That's all right. Yeah, so the subcommittee came forward and we all voted to move it forward. So it's now in the hands of the Park and Rec for their okay to let us go ahead and proceed with trying to restore Emery Park.
So to tack onto that, thank you all for the vote earlier on the support for the moving the ARPA funds. I do want to just clarify and correct myself with the data that was provided. Right now, 3.5% of the town is birth to 4 years, 12% of the town is ages 5 through 12, and 32% of the town identifies as 65 years or older. That's seniors 60 state for data purposes, census qualifies for 65. With that note, that is the 47.5% of the town that is considered at risk for drowning. Either it's the second leading cause of accidental death or the primary cause. So it's the birth through 4 primary cause, and then ages 5 through 12 and 65 plus, that is the secondary cause of accidental death in the United States, or highest level of death in the United States. So just want to correct that. And then second thing, I spoke with Matt Winter. The Boy Scouts have not camped yet, and they will be hopefully camping soon. The drought has really prevented them from being able to camp with fire and with having limited water resources available. So once I hear from them, when things get better, they'll be able to camp. And I feel that an extension on the 6 months because of our current conditions environmentally might be something we need to just honor.
So I'd just like to add that I think that our emphasis on Emery Park is a boost to the town because it's, I know a lot of people miss the pool, but I know a lot of people also thought that Emery Park was kind of a wasted opportunity, and if the town wasn't going to do anything with the park, they should get rid of it. And there was some negative feelings. But I think that, we're moving in a direction to not only revitalize the swimming area, but to, bring the entirety of the park to the town's attention, and that's a positive. So, I want to thank Matt for his efforts there. And, I agree that with the subcommittee report that restoring Emery Park is, very important, and it's should be given a go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So anything else? Public comment? We still have no public there. So we're done, aren't we? 46 minutes? Is that plus or minus your intended time frame?
You're under 14 minutes under, easy.
Okay, so
30.
we're doing okay.
I budgeted for, what is that, 90 minutes on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're doing real good.
Yeah.
I think
I
I just have
appreciate-
one more quick thing, if you don't mind. I'm sorry to take everyone's time, but it is public comment and it is Thanksgiving time. So I do want to say that I'm very thankful for having a very strong commission to work with and to help guide me through the process. Jumping into this role back in February, I was super excited and beyond honored to be working for the town of Kent, and I still feel that way many months later. I know we've had some people join the commission and leave the commission, but everybody who has been part of the team has been somebody I appreciate genuinely deeply. And I also am thankful for the community, and I'm thankful for everyone involved in all of our programs that want to volunteer, that want to hear, express themselves and be in some way enjoying the community leisurely. And I am also just saying this too because I appreciate my staff so much. They are rock stars, they are creative, they have so many wild ideas, and this department could not flourish without them. This town could not flourish without everyone on our team, and this community could not be the community that I'm proud to be part of if it wasn't for everybody who currently resides here, who has resided here, and those prospectively. Truly, this is an amazing place. So thank you all, and I truly appreciate everything so far, and I can't wait to see what comes.
Thank you, Matt. Miranda thanks you in the chat as well. And I'll tell you, I've been on a lot of different commissions and over the years, and this is one of the more rewarding things because we're trying to reach a lot of the population of Kent that either doesn't have a voice because they're too young or, to make Kent a better place. And I thank you, Matt, for being part of it. So, hope everyone has a really good Thanksgiving. And, let's hope for a little more rain in the future. So we can get by all the dry spell and we're off and running. So I hope to see everybody early December. That's it for me. Anybody else? So, thank you very much, everybody. 7:49, and we shall adjourn.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you all.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night, all.
Night.